So this is what makes up A1 truck driver training. We're coming on to 35 years now at this location. Well, I started it right here anyway. All right, here we are at the truck. Dave and Pip and little buddies here, they're going to help us. So Dave, if you want to get inside the cab and we'll get started with this.
All right.
Come on, Pip and Buddy, let's jump in too. Jump in there, kids. Come on up. Come on, Buddy, jump in. Jump in, Buddy. There he is. Yeah. These guys are going to help us now with this pre-trip inspection. I'm going to go over to the other side where Dave is, where I can get a better idea of listening to him. We're going to keep the door open so that we can film here today. All right, guys, let's get going with this pre-trip inspection. We'll start with the inside the cab. Speak loud, David.
All right, the key lives on the turn signal. I take that off and put it in the key hole there. Make sure that the fuel is on. Safe start, push the clutch in. Choose neutral, make sure it's neutral. Start the engine. Come up on the clutch slowly. What we want to do is build air pressure past 100 pounds. I can bring the RPMs up just a little bit.
Pull that sticker off there, Dave, that I put on about the gauge. Yeah. So we're looking to have more than 100 pounds, and it looks like we certainly do, don't we?
We got it now.
Yeah.
I'm going to shut off the fuel. That kills the engine. And then I'm going to do my 4 pounds per minute leak down test. I should not lose more than 4 pounds in 1 minute. To do that, I'll make sure the red button is already in. I push in the yellow button. I wait for my gauges to settle down. Press on the brake pedal. They move one more time. Now once they've settled down, I'm going to count 60 seconds. And those gauges should move no more than 4 pounds in 1 minute.
All right, and then we're timing, and any method you want to use to time is okay. You can say 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, or you can look at your watch. So at this point, we're going to pretend that the minute is up. Dave still has his foot. It's coming off the brake now. So tell us, David, what you want to tell us.
The air pressure gauge did not move more than 4 pounds in 1 minute, so it passed the test.
All right.
Now we're going to do the parking brake test. Not the parking brake test. We're going to do the low pressure light and warning. To do that, I'm going to repeatedly step on the brake pedal until my air pressure gets down between 60 and 80 pounds. And there's the light and the buzzer. And that tells me that the low pressure air warning system is working. I can turn the key off at that point. We're going to look to see that these emergency brake buttons pop out when our air pressure reaches between 20 and 40 pounds. So we'll continue to step on the brake pedal, using up air pressure, watching those buttons, and both of them should pop out between 20 and 40 pounds. And there they are. They popped out at 20 pounds. Therefore, they passed the test.
All right, David, just to recap a little bit here now, as you test students, what do they generally mess up on this air brake check?
They will leave one of the buttons out for the 4 pounds per minute test, or they will leave the engine running.
Yep,
And on the second part of the test, they forget to leave the key on, so we don't hear the light and buzzer.
All right.
Those are the main things.
Okay. Now, if a student gets through with the air brake check, or mostly through, and then they say, darn, I didn't do this right, may I start it over? What do you recommend for them at that point if they think they did mess it up?
At that point, they can start over completely, build air pressure to over 100 pounds, and start the test again.
Yeah.
Students don't need to have more than 100 pounds after they've stepped on the brake, that 100 pounds is a requirement only for the beginning of the test, which is pushing in the buttons and stepping on the brake.
Yes, very good point. Okay, go ahead with the rest of the inside of the cab now.
On the, I'm going to start the engine, build
Okay.
air pressure,
All right.
safe start, make sure I'm in neutral, make sure the fuel is on, come up on the clutch slowly. I'll bring the RPMs up to about 900 or 1,000. And while we're waiting for the air pressure to build, I'm going to be turning my left turn signal on and look at the left turn signal indicator. It is working. The right turn signal is on and it is working. I'm using my finger to show you where these things are. I'm going to press the four-way flasher button and show you that the four-way flashers are working, the indicators.
Louder, Dave.
Show you that the four-way flasher indicators are working. I'm going to turn on the light switch and press my foot on the high and low beam button, and the blue indicator light should come on right here, and it does, so the indicator light is working. Shut the lights back off. As I am waiting for air pressure to build, I can look at my driver's side mirror and my passenger side mirror. They're both securely mounted. There are no bolts or nuts missing. The mirrors are not cracked or broken. They're clean and they're adjusted for me. The seat belt is securely mounted at each end. It is not cut or frayed. It latches, unlatches properly and adjusted for me. The heater, if I turn that on, the heat comes out down here, and the defrosters come out up here. If I were to operate the windshield wipers, I would use this switch, push it on, the wipers go back and forth, and push this switch to squirt water onto the windshield. I'm checking the windshield. It is securely mounted, not cracked, not broken, no unnecessary stickers. The windshield wipers are not cracked, they're not broken. They're tight against the glass. And I've got more than 100 pounds of air pressure, so I can do the trailer brake test first. And to do that, I'm going to push the clutch in, choose first gear, release the parking brake on the tractor, come up on the clutch until it grabs the engine a little bit. The truck doesn't move. The trailer brake is working properly. Parking brake on the tractor and release the trailer brake. Come up on the clutch until it grabs the engine lightly. The truck doesn't move, therefore the parking brake is working properly. And I got my four-way flashers on. I'm going to turn those off. I'm going to turn this off. Choose neutral, come up on the clutch, shut off the engine. At this point, I would release my brakes and travel forward at 5 miles an hour, applying the brake pedal, making sure the truck doesn't pull to one side or the other.
All right, here at A1 we don't actually do that, we just verbalize it because of the safety issue of actually going 5 miles an hour in the yard, so we don't actually do that. Anything else inside this cab, David, that
I do want to do the gauges. I'll start the engine again to show you the gauges.
Okay.
Safe start, neutral, come off the clutch slowly, checking my oil pressure, it is in the normal range, checking my water pressure, water temperature, it is in the proper range, fuel, enough for the trip, and the voltage is between 12 and 14 volts. Inside the cab here, we have 3 red reflective triangles. They're not cracked or broken. Also, there should be spare fuses with these. And
You're ready to check the lights?
I'm ready to check the lights, if you could help me.
All right, what we're going to do is sort of skip this light check because it's sort of mundane, and but you'll want to invite the examiner to look at them for you. But for today's purposes, we're not going to actually do that light check. So I'm going to get down off of my ladder safely. All right, David, you're going to come out properly and safely, hopefully. We'll demonstrate that. You want to come out backwards, holding on to all of the hand things, and let's take the key out of the ignition and hang it up for the rest of this. All right, you can close the door now. Come on, pups, let's let them out. All right. All right, David, go ahead with whatever part of this you want to do.
I want to look at the front of the truck. At the front of the truck, first I'm going to look underneath for leaks, drips, engine oil, coolant, fluids. And then I'm going to look at the top of the truck, the clearance lights, the turn signals, the headlights on both sides. They are all securely mounted. They're not cracked, they're not broken. They're the proper color amber in the front. The windshield is securely mounted. It's not cracked, it's not broken, and the windshield wipers are securely mounted and not cracked or broken. Now I'm going to open the hood. And I'm going to start on the passenger side, inspecting the engine components.
David's going to use this nifty little pointer here to help the video show exactly where he's talking about. Okay, go ahead.
I'm starting at the top, and my first inspection is the hoses. This is the radiator hose, the heater hoses. They are all securely mounted at each end. They're not cracked, broken, cut, or leaking. The coolant level is between add and full. The exhaust system is securely mounted to the engine. No bolts missing. It's not cracked, it's not broken. If it were broken and leaking, you would see signs of black soot.
Very good, David, very good.
The alternator is securely mounted. No fasteners missing. The wires are secure, not cut or chafed. The alternator is driven by these belts. These belts are not cut or frayed. They are tight. They are do not have more than 3/4 of an inch of play in them when I press on them in the middle. This truck has a gear-driven power steering pump located here. It is securely mounted. The hoses securely mounted, not cut, not cracked, not leaking. And we're going to move over to the driver's side. Starting at the top, we have the power steering fluid reservoir. We would check this to be sure that the level of fluid is between add and full. The air compressor is securely mounted. No bolts or nuts missing. It's not cracked, it's not broken, it's not leaking. All the lines going to it are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or leaking. It is driven by this belt. This belt is not cut, cracked, or frayed, and it does not have more than 3/4 of an inch of play when I press on it in the middle. The oil dipstick is in this location. I won't pull it out, but if I did, I'd make sure that the oil was between add and full. The frame is securely mounted to the cross members here, back here, and I'm going to check it later all the way in the back. No bolts missing, no unnecessary holes, and no illegal welds. It's not bent. The power steering gearbox is securely mounted to the frame. It has no bolts or nuts missing. It is not cracked, it is not broken, it is not leaking. The power steering lines going to it here are securely mounted, not cracked, not broken, not leaking. The pitman arm, drag link, upper and lower control arms, and this piece that goes across to the other wheel are all securely mounted. They're not bent, they're not cracked, they're not broken. All the fasteners are in place, no cotter pins are missing. The front spring mount and the rear spring mount are securely fastened to the frame. No bolts or nuts missing, not cracked, not broken. The springs themselves are located here. They're in proper alignment. None are missing, none are cracked or broken. They're held in place with these U-bolts. These U-bolts are securely mounted. The 4 nuts underneath are not loose, not cracked, not broken. The shock absorber is securely mounted at the top and at the bottom. It is not leaking. The air hose, air brake hose, is securely mounted at each end, not cut, cracked, and it's not leaking. The brake chamber is securely mounted. It is not cracked, broken, or dented, and it is not leaking. This is the push rod, the slack adjuster here. The push rod is right here. Those are securely mounted. They're not cracked, broken. The fasteners are in place. Here's a cotter pin that's holding it in place. On this unit, if I were to put my hand in there and pull on this, it should move no more than 1 inch. Down here, we have the brake backing plate, and behind that is the brake drum. In the brake backing plate are small inspection holes. When you look through that hole, you can see that the brake linings are not worn dangerously thin. They're not contaminated with oil or grease. The brake drum is securely mounted. It's not cracked, it's not broken, no holes in it. The rim on the inside, the rim on the outside, these are securely fastened, not cracked, not broken, no illegal welds, and not bent. The inside of the tire, the outside of the tire, no cuts, no cracks, no cord showing. The top of the tire is wearing evenly. The tread depth is more than 4/32 of an inch. 4/32 is the minimum for the steer tire. Over here we're looking at the lug nuts. None of the lug nuts are missing. They're all tight. If they were loose, I would see signs of running rust or shiny metal shavings. None of the holes around them are wallowed out or distorted. The axle seal is securely mounted and not leaking. Right here is the valve stem. The valve stem itself is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or bent. It has a cap on it that's not missing. This is where I would put my air gauge, check the air pressure. This tire is properly inflated. And I believe that is everything I want to look at under the hood.
All right, if you're done under the hood, let's close her down. Make the truck a little safer. Okay, I'll latch this side, kind of show you what you got to do. When you unlatch the hood to raise it, you kind of want to lay these down so they don't hook up there, catch you. All right, David, what are you going to do next?
I'm going to look at the mirror from the outside, make sure it is securely mounted and there's no pieces missing, no bolts or nuts missing. Then I'm going to open the door. The door should operate freely. The hinges should be securely mounted to the frame of the truck. Not cracked, not broken. No fasteners missing. And the door has a seal all the way around that is not ripped, not broken, not missing. Over here, we have a fire extinguisher. This fire extinguisher is securely mounted, charged in the green zone, and rated properly. When we come to the back of the truck, we're first going to look at our electric line connection. This electric line is securely mounted. It's locked in place with this locking latch. And then the air mounts on the back of the tractor are securely mounted. They're not cracked, they're not broken. These lines are held up off of the frame of the truck by this spring so that they don't get bound up when we turn a corner. All these lines are not cut, cracked, or leaking, and they're not spliced. At the front of the trailer, these glad hands, air lines, electric line, these are all securely mounted. They're not cracked, broken, or leaking. As long as I'm here right now, before I forget it, I'm going to show you the header board. The header board is securely mounted to the trailer, not cracked, broken, and it'll support the load. Over here, we have a drive shaft. And this drive shaft is securely mounted at each end with U-joints. This drive shaft is not cracked or broken, it's not bent, there's nothing wrapped around it, and there's no debris in the U-joints. We have another U-joint here in the back. No foreign objects in there. Now that I'm down here, I'm going to look at the fifth wheel skid plate and the apron. They are not cracked, they are not broken, they're not bent. The fifth wheel is securely mounted to the platform. No fasteners missing right there. The platform is mounted to the frame with these mounting bolts. None of the mounting bolts are missing, cracked, or broken. The release arm is securely mounted and it is in the locked position. I'm checking the frame again. The frame is securely mounted to these cross members. They're not cracked, broken, bent. There are no unnecessary holes or illegal welds. The front and the rear spring mounts are securely mounted. Not cracked, not broken, no bolts or nuts missing. The springs are securely mounted. They are in proper alignment. There's none broken, none missing. They're held in place with these U-bolts. These U-bolts are not cracked or broken. The nuts underneath are tight. The torque arm is securely mounted to the axle and to the front spring mount. And it is not cracked, broken, or missing a bushing. The air brake hoses are securely mounted at each end. They're not cracked, they're not broken, they're not leaking, and they're not cut. This is the brake chamber. It is securely mounted. It is not cracked, broken, dented, or leaking. Behind this is the push rod and slack adjuster.
That's fine. We saw it on the front, so
very good.
The slack adjuster and push rod you saw on the front. Tell us more about that though now, David.
Sure. Those are securely mounted. There's no fasteners missing. The cotter pin is in place. If I release the spring brakes and pull on it by hand, it should move no more than 1 inch.
All right.
The inside and outside of the inside rim, the inside and outside of the outside rim, these are securely mounted. They're not bent, they're not damaged, they're not illegally welded. The inside and outside of the inside tire, the inside and the outside of the outside tire, no cuts, cracks, or cord showing. The tires are wearing evenly. There is more than 2/32 of an inch of tread depth on these tires. 2/32 is the minimum. There's an axle seal here. It is securely mounted and not leaking. All the the lug nuts are in place, not broken, cracked, or missing, or loose. If they were loose, we'd see some running rust, some shiny metal, or the holes in the rim would be wallowed out or distorted. The valve stems, we have one here, and we have one inside for each wheel, one. And they are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or bent. They have a valve cap that's not missing. You apply your air gauge here, determine that the air pressure is appropriate. Now we're looking at the mud flap in the back, or splash guard. It is securely mounted at the proper height. It's not cracked, broken, or torn. As I look back in here, I can see that the kingpin is held in place by the locking jaws. The kingpin is not bent, broken, and the locking jaws are not broken. The tail light on the back of the tractor is securely mounted, not cracked or broken. It's a proper color red. Around the outside of this is a reflector. We need to have a reflector on there, DOT requirement. While I'm under here, I'm going to look at the frame of the truck, the floor of the truck, the cross members. These are all securely mounted, not cracked, broken, bent, or twisted, not illegally welded. Right here is the landing gear. The landing gear is in the full upright position. It is securely mounted to the frame of the truck, not cracked, broken, or bent, and the handle is stored for travel. This is the box of the truck. It is not bent, dented, no holes in it. On the side of the trailer, I'm looking at the reflectors and the DOT reflective tape. These are all securely mounted, the proper color, yellow on the front, there'll be a red one in the back. There's a light on the side of the truck also, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or missing, and it is the proper color, amber in the front. We have tie downs. These tie downs are securely mounted, not cracked or broken. Checking the frame as we go down. And underneath here, we have air brake hoses, securely mounted at each end, not cracked, not broken, no cuts, and not leaking. Brake chamber is here. It is securely mounted. It is not cracked, broken, or dented, and it is not leaking. The front spring mount and the rear spring mount are securely mounted to the frame, not cracked, not broken. The springs on this one, leaf springs, are all in alignment, none broken or missing. They are held in place with the 4 U-bolts. They have nuts on the bottom. These nuts are not missing and they're not loose. The brakes, you want to come take a look at the brake system. Inside here, this is the brake lining. It is not worn dangerously thin. It is not contaminated by oil or grease. The brake drum is right here. It is round and not broken. There's no holes in it, and it is not contaminated by oil or grease. The rim is here, the inside of the rim, and it is not cracked or broken, and is not illegally welded. That goes the same for the outside of the rim, the inside of this rim, and the outside of this rim. The inside of this tire, outside, inside of this tire, and outside of this tire, those are all no cuts, cracks, or cord showing. The white tires are wearing evenly. They have more than 2/32 of an inch of tread. The mounting, lug nuts are all in place, none missing, none cracked or broken. If they were loose, I would see signs of running rust or metal shavings, and the rim holes could be distorted. The axle seal is securely mounted, not leaking. We have a valve stem here and a valve stem here. Securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or bent. The valve cap is in place. This is where we put our air gauge on. Check the air pressure. These tires are properly inflated. I have a splash guard in the back, and it is securely mounted, not cut, cracked, and it's the proper height. This is our rear side light and reflector. They're red, not cracked, broken, or missing. At the back of the trailer, we see the DOT tape, the turn signals, the brake lights, and the reflectors, as well as the clearance lights. They are all securely mounted. They're not cracked, broken, or missing, and they're the proper color red. When I'm back here, I'm going to just take another look back in here because I may have missed this one. This is the slack adjuster, and back here is the push rod. Those are securely mounted, no fasteners missing, the cotter pin's in place. If I release the parking brake, I could pull on that and it should move no more than 1 inch by hand. As I come down the passenger side of the vehicle, I'm not going to inspect anything that I've inspected on the other side. I'm looking for something different over here that doesn't occur on the driver's side. Here's some more exhaust. I can check that. It should be securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or leaking. If it was leaking, I'd see signs of black soot. Here's the fuel tank. The fuel tank is securely mounted with these straps. The fuel cap is securely mounted. It's tight, it's not leaking. Back in here you can see the fuel lines right in there. Those fuel lines are securely mounted at each end. They're not cracked, broken, or leaking. And underneath I'll take another look for any leaks out of the tank. It's not leaking. That concludes our pre-trip inspection of this vehicle.
All right, students, we're at this point I'm going to invite Dave to think about, it's impossible to get 100%, nobody can, because it's just too many items, and the opportunity to be nervous and all that good stuff is all involved in this. Now, David, if you think of anything that you missed or forgot or want to do better, I welcome you right now to do that. Otherwise, tell me again that you believe you're done. If you think you're done, we're going to go inside and we're going to play this through, and we're going to grade it just like we would for a student, and then we'll turn the camera back on and show the grade sheet and the things that might have missed. Like I say, it's next to impossible to get 100% on anything when the pressure's on. So are you ready to go inside and take a look at it, David?
I am.
All righty, we're going to turn the camera off then, and we'll spend some time doing that, and we'll come back on the camera later. All right, now we're going to show you the grading sheet for this. The total possible points are 90. Dave missed 6 items, which gives him a score of 84. In your case, if you score 67 or more correctly, you're going to pass. Anything less than 67, in other words, a 66, 65, 64, whatever, are going to be failures. So you must, 80% of the 90 possible items make 67 the lowest you can get. So if we take a look at the score sheet here that we use to grade you, we find that on the first column, David missed 1 item, and that was the water pump and the water pump belt. You see that box there is not filled in. He skipped the water pump and the water pump belt. Now in the next column he missed 3. So the first box that's empty is he didn't toot the horn. And as we come on down looking for empty boxes in that column, then he didn't, there's shocks on the drive axle of that particular truck, and he didn't inspect the shocks. And then the drum and linings on the drive axle of the truck failed to do that, so he's lost 3 points in that column. And then we're going to move over to the next column. We'll come down through there and see if there's any boxes that are empty. There's an empty box, and that's the tie downs on the very, very back of the trailer. And then we move over to the last column, looking to see if there's any empty boxes, and there is one. David failed to tell me about the gap between the fifth wheel and the trailer. So that adds up to, he missed 1 in the first column, 3 in the next column, 1 in the next column, and 1 in the last column, which made it a loss of 6, which gave him the 84 score. We think that's a fine score, and we would not want for David to have made 100%, because that wouldn't give you any indication of really how it's scored and what makes it a pass for you. So we would like for you now to be watching this DVD over and over, as well as the other 2 that we send with you. The purpose of watching them all is so that you would understand that you don't have to memorize exactly how any one of us says it. As long as you convey the proper meaning, then everything is going to be just fine. So wishing you a happy time watching all of this, and we're going to wind her down now with a 10 count. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,